Good morning. Welcome back to the Junius Maltby channel for another quick walk through the news, unscripted and extemporaneous discussion. Interesting headlines. We've got some great stories to cover this morning. As usual, probably not the best news for all of us to hear, but reality never is the best news typically. U.S. debt hits record $19 trillion. This is a day or two old, but we're only 5 or so billion or 50 billion above that now. They didn't stop there. It's continuing upward. $19 trillion in debt as a nation, surpassing it. Check some of these numbers out. The real figure could exceed $65 trillion, according to a former U.S. Comptroller General. That's David Walker. That's all the outstanding liabilities. The official debt of $19 trillion represents almost $60,000 for every man, woman, and child living in America today. President Barack Obama took office with $10.8 trillion in debt, so he effectively nearly doubled the debt as president. It's grown more than $8 trillion in 7 years. At a record tempo, likely to continue. Of course, they're not going to change. These guys, that's all they do, the government. They expand and want more, and they're just pigs at the trough. Pigs at the trough. And this is going to be a good segue into some other articles now. I want you to keep this major debt in mind as we discuss some other articles. Now, here's a snapshot of the debt clock this morning as I started making this video. So keep this number in mind. I'm going to take another one right after we close the video out. So just before we exit and we're all done making this video, I'm going to take another snapshot. I'm going to put that one in at the very end. And so write that number down, 19 trillion, 5,514,678,312. And we'll see how big the debt grows just in the time we make a Junius Maltby video. Should be interesting to see what that number results as. Well, gold. How's gold performing? U.S. debt's exploding, oil's in the tank, the economy's on the rocks, all kinds of things happening. There's negative interest rates popping up in different parts of the world. A war on cash, which we're going to talk about. We're going to get to that in today's video for sure. But gold's looking pretty good right now. We've been talking about this the last couple months. I mean, how often have we reiterated here on the channel, and all of you out there in the comment section, all of you faithful subscribers and Junius Maltby participants, we've all been talking about this as gold was sitting there at some very healthy low levels, areas that we thought were very appetizing for purchase. And I think many of us agreed that gold wasn't going to go much lower. Now, a lot of the critics, a lot of the skeptics, a lot of the gold bears, they did believe gold was on its way down to $700, $600. I saw people predicting gold would hit $300, $400 an ounce. Didn't happen. I kind of knew that would not happen. I knew the 3 and 4, that was out of the question. 7 and 8 was very unlikely to me. I thought 1,000 was about the bottom. That was where I kind of, in my gut, felt we would see the bottom at. And I backed that up in some videos based on what India and a lot of the major countries purchased gold at in the past several years. I felt that really locked gold in to some of these values around the 1140 range as a base, as a bottom. And sure enough, gold's pretty much bounced off of that. It edged up to a 3-month high on Thursday after its best day in 2 weeks. So, could we see a 2016 where gold pulls out one of those 10, 20, 30% increases from where it starts the year? I don't know. I can't tell you that for certain. I just think it's going to close 2016 higher than it started. Gold and silver log 3-month highs. U.S. Mint bullion sales rise. Of course, that's typical. The U.S. Mint cannot mint silver or gold fast enough, it seems. Gold for April delivery tacked on 1410 or 1.3% to end at 114130. Gold's doing pretty darn good, and whoa, lo and behold, what's happening with the guys you see in the suits and the the little screaming bird people on the stock trading floors? Well, they're now saying it's time to buy gold, possibly. Well, where were these guys when gold was $100 an ounce, less than it was now? Well, they were telling you not to buy it, and they were telling you to sell it, or that it was a bad time to have it, and that it was going to go to 700 or 800. But now that it has a couple of up days, the bird people come back out, and they think it's a good time to buy some gold. Well, they're a day late and a dollar short typically. Yeah, it's probably still a good time to buy it, but you're not going to make as much as if you had bought it $100 or $120 ago, when the Junior Smallby channel was saying, hey, this is probably a good time to go out and buy some gold. And I know a lot of you did. A lot of you smart guys went out, and gals, and locked in on gold at some pretty good prices. So I'm proud of you for that. This brings us into this. Now, the war on cash. Just to backtrack 2 seconds, you know how we like to get all over the place here. I think that gold is reacting to not only the debt, but globally what we're seeing. There is a lot of uncertainty, and I think the more savvy and intelligent parts of the population are saying, you know what, we need to save ourselves. There's a lack of trust. I think gold, the price we're seeing in gold is reflecting a lack of trust in both the government institutions, the financial and banking institutions, everything, stock market, the media, what the media tells them. People are losing faith. And you can see it across the board. Voter participation rates. Just go read letters to the editor. Watch the debates. Listen to people talk. No one cares anymore. They see right through it. The whole fabric of trust and integrity has disintegrated, and we are now being ruled by lobbyists and corporate elites and special interest groups, and under the guise of social justice and this and that. All these everyone has their own banner and cause now, and everyone has to suffer for someone else's insecurity. And there's the war on terror, the war on drugs, the war on poverty. There's all these little pseudo wars the government's waging, which they can't win. They just pour money into, and then they pass these stupid laws in order to protect us from ourselves. So under the guise of the war on terror and the war on drugs and the war on this and the war on that, they have to stop money laundering and show your ID 15 times when you buy a Snickers bar. We got to limit cash transactions, tax gold, stop people from using metals, trading with the Enemy Act, just keep passing totalitarian measures one after the other to try to control and corral us, the cattle, the sheep, the people, because we're so dangerous and stupid. What would we do without the suits and the ties to control our lives and protect us? All right, now we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the war on cash. Accelerate as negative interest rates come to the U.S. The war on cash, as you guys have seen, it's happening globally. Happened in Greece, it's spreading through Europe, through all the socialist basket case countries that you're going to see there disintegrate and collapse under the burden of socialism, and the wave and sea, the tsunami of immigrants that are going to crash into that country like a wall of salt water. It's going to weigh down on their system, because obviously there's an incredible social welfare system in place in the socialist Europe. So all of those migrants, the ones that can't get work or don't get work, are going to be coddled and taken care of by the state, and the people that work are going to have to pay for that. The banking system there is going to be weighed down, bogged down by this. So negative interest rates are spreading like a bad rash for the past few weeks. As you all know, this happened in Japan, hence the name there. Haruhiko Kuroda, the head of the Japanese central bank, said he had no plans to adopt negative interest rates. Then last Friday, just a week after his most recent denial, the Japanese central bank cut Japan's interest rate below zero for the first time ever. So it's happening. There's a controversy in Germany over plans to cap cash transactions. A proposal by German Finance Minister Wolfgang Schäuble to introduce a ceiling for cash payments to help combat money laundering. Of course, there's a war on something, and it's probably they have a war on money laundering. And the financing of terrorism, of course, the war on terror, came under fire in Germany Thursday. In a country where people still overwhelmingly prefer to pay in cash, even the central bank, or Bundesbank, was critical of the government's proposal. It is happening. They're moving forward with it. And here you go. For citizens, any restriction on the usage of cash is an infringement on their personal economic liberty. I agree wholeheartedly. And this quote comes from Carl Ludwig Thiel, who is responsible for cash management at the Bundesbank Executive Board. Now, there's a continuing demonization of cash. Good article by Paul Martin Foss on Mises.org. You can find this article on Lou Rockwell. In April, it was announced that Greece was imposing a surcharge for all cash withdrawals from bank accounts to deter citizens from clearing out their accounts. So now the Greeks will have to pay €1 per 1,000 euros that they withdraw, which is 0.1%. It doesn't seem very big, but the principle at work is extremely big because they're in effect doing is breaking the exchange rate between a unit of bank deposits and a unit of currency. We're talking about negative interest rates. We're talking about the war on cash. It's happening. It's happening. There's a war on us, a war on you, a war on people who hold metals, who hold gold, who try to transact in anything other than the fiat of the state. And now it's going to get to the point where it's just going to be the only currency you can exchange is going to be the little things in the screen, the digits on the computer. And Germany's unveiling this cash control push to ban transactions over 5,000 euros and 500 euro notes. All of this is being applauded, mind you, by the executive board at Bloomberg News, saying, bring on the cashless future. So here you have the media working in sync, in tandem, to promote the desired actions of the socialist elite, and that is the cashless future. So we live in a world where the media is basically a speaker box for the establishment and for the regimes. It's similar to Joseph Goebbels, who would do all of the speaking for Adolf Hitler. We have a media machine that promotes and distributes the propaganda of the state to steer and manipulate the mind of the masses. We are the masses, and we have to be careful that we are not manipulated by the media. That's their entire purpose, mind you. The media's purpose is to manipulate the minds of the masses, most of which are very stupid. Again, think of the quote by George Carlin. Imagine for a moment how dumb the average person is. Now think that half of them are dumber than that. And again, they're all allowed to vote, which is the problem, because you have an incredible large number of stupid people voting for themselves, voting for benefits, voting for welfare. If you ever get a chance on YouTube, look up the video of the woman that reacts to winning the lottery, getting her welfare check like she's winning the lottery. I will try to find a link to that video or just a screenshot for it so you can type in the exact title and watch it. That video right there, that video of an incredibly obese woman who's, I guarantee you, not hungry, winning, I keep saying winning, because yeah, she's acting like and reacting to getting her welfare for 2 years like she won the lottery. That's how she's reacting. And it's disgusting, it's nauseating, it's the problem with society. People like that need to be looked after more by, I think, religious institutions or charities of some kind. It is not the job of the state. It's not my taxes' job to do that. So, all right, let's close out, I guess, Oh, just this last line here, from the Bloomberg article saying that cash had a good run for 4,000 years. But, it's dirty, it's dangerous. Of course, it's dangerous. Remember, everything's always to protect you. It's for the children. It's unwieldy and expensive, antiquated, and very analog. So we should just go computers for everything. And on that computer note, quick side note, friend I just spoke with the other day, his ex-wife, they still get along pretty good. She had her entire bank account cleaned out by identity thefts, computerized. Very difficult getting her money back, but she lost the multitudes of thousands of dollars. She looked at her banks and there was zero balance in 2 accounts, all of it cleaned out, gone, transferred to another account by an identity theft. Very unnerving situation for her to have to go through, and it sounds like an incredible, difficult process to even try to remotely get your money back and prove that you've been ripped off. She's having a rough time with it. So, anyway, that's why I don't like it. I like to keep as much cash in the bank as I need to cover bills that I pay with that, and the rest of it, I like to work through other means. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being part of the Junius Maltby channel. Thanks for joining us on this run through the news. A quick look through the prism at a different angle of what's going on in this world. Continue to stack your metals. Protect yourselves. Look out for yourselves at this time, because the state will not do that for you. All right. Have a good day.